The first game back for Kawhi Leonard was a resounding success. Game isn't actually technically over as I record this video, 27 seconds left, but a resounding dominant win for the Clippers. Kawhi is a plus 22 in only 19 minutes, only scores 12 points, but I thought showed flashes of the player that he used to be and the player that he still has the potential to be. I think we have to be patient with Kawhi, especially on the offensive end of the court. That will come. But this is a dude who takes a Clippers team that has been competitive all year, 19 and 15 without him, to the point of all of a sudden being a serious contender, I think. Now, again, in the Western Conference, it's always going to be Oklahoma City and everybody else. But I think the Clippers are very much in the mix to be at the top of everybody else. Like, this team looks really, really good. There's a lot to like about this team, and it's not just Kawhi. It's not just James Harden. It's not just Norm Powell. It's a variety of guys on different nights who play their roles at a very high level, and a team that now, with the return of Kawhi, should be one of the better two-way teams in all of basketball. And it's just, they look like a serious threat, and it's the perfect. I really think it's the perfect team that they've built with the loss of Paul George. I think losing Paul George actually really might have done this team a favor. I think Norm Powell might have been right. Like, this team looks about as good as any Clippers team has since putting Kawhi and Paul George together several years ago. And yeah, very, very impressive win tonight. And they look to be a serious threat in the West. Before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to the 2,000 subscriber mark. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Tonight, James Harden in 29 minutes has 15 assists. He had 13 in the first half, only 10 points, not great efficiency. Kind of story of Harden's season when it comes to the efficiency, but it just doesn't matter all that much. Norm Powell with an decently efficient 20. Zubac goes for 18 points, 18 rebounds, and 4 assists. Absolutely destroys Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu. He has been having an incredible year. Derrick Jones Jr. with 6 buckets. I think all 6 of them were dunks. 12 points off the bench. Amir Coffey with a 17-point performance off the bench as well. Kevin Porter Jr. with one of his best games of the season, 15.7 assists on really good efficiency. Just a variety of guys getting involved in a variety of ways tonight. Some in garbage time, some in minutes that mattered. But either way, seeing this starting lineup besides Chris Dunn go plus 28, plus 10, plus 25, and plus 22 had to be really, really encouraging for Clippers fans against a pretty decent Hawks team. I mean, to be fair, the Hawks didn't have Jalen Johnson or Bogdan Bogdanovic tonight, but still, pretty dominating win, holding the Hawks to only 105 points as well. Very, very impressive defensive performance by this team against a very solid offensive squad. And yeah, that puts them at 20 and 15 now with this win, which will put them tied with the Mavs for the 6th seed. And look, they're probably going to pass the Mavs in the standings pretty soon because of the Mavs injury issues. I mean, the Mavs are going to fall into the play-in because of how many games Luke is missing, but also Kyrie is missing games. Just a variety of issues that the Mavs are currently facing. Obviously, as a Mavs fan, I don't love that, but the Clippers look like they're going to be a top 6 team. And if they stay healthy, obviously a huge if with Kawhi Leonard as well as some of the other guys on this roster. If they stay healthy, though, they're going to be terrifying because this team, I mean, the thing about the Clippers this season is the amount of depth that they've been able to build. I mean, Harden is having a pretty inefficient year, 39%, 35 almost from 3, but not great efficiency. He's turned the ball over too much, but still, he's a 22 point per game scorer, 8 assists a game, 6 rebounds a game. Still a very solid player, even if the efficiency isn't great. Norm Powell has been the best player on this team this season, really has stepped into his role, and it's almost been addition by subtraction, like he said. With the loss of Paul George, as he's having the best season of his career, 23.5 a game, 48%, 44% from 3, deserves to be an all-star, is playing at a crazy high level as a scorer. Now, I understand there's not a lot of playmaking or rebounding added on to that, but he's having a great year. Zubac is at 15 and 12.5, like second in the league in rebounding. A guy who's he's not a great shot blocker, but he is a good interior deterrent, a great rebounder, makes other centers just look small on a night-to-night basis with his ability to finish around the rim. And while he may not be an elite athlete, he is a really, really good player at the center spot. Amir Coffey's having an awesome year in his own right, up to 45% from 3, has really turned into a super useful role player. Derrick Jones Jr. provides that point of attack defense, effort, and energy that this team needs. Chris Dunn defensively has been awesome and is a 34% three-point shooter in his own right. Never going to be an offensive guy, but as long as he can be capable enough offensively, his defense makes him another valuable piece for this team. Terrence Mann hasn't had a massive role this season, but having him back from injury certainly does not hurt either. Another guy who can be a high-level point of attack defender. secondary playmaker, potentially a decent shooter as well. Kevin Porter Jr. has really struggled, but has played better as of late and could be a useful guard off the bench for this team as well if he can shoot the ball better with consistency. Batum's a vet, but he's not a bad vet. He shoots the ball really solidly from three. That's about all he does offensively. But again, defensive effort and consistency from him is going to be great. They have no real backup big. I think Kai Jones could be that, but they just don't play him very much. I wonder if they will give him more minutes in the second half of the season because Mo Bamba's been a disaster. And so I think Kai Jones might wind up being that backup big later on in the season. But do they really need a backup big when they can just go small with Amir Coffey at the 5 or Nick Batum at the 5 or lineups like that, small ball lineups when Zubac isn't on the court, that I think can get the job done for the most part. I mean, Zubac also is playing 32 minutes a game, so that's only 16 minutes or so a game you have to replace without him. If they can't find that backup center, it's going to be an issue a little bit, but I don't know if it matters that much because here's the thing, y'all. This is all without Kawhi. You add Kawhi Leonard into the mix, you're going to improve your defense that is already among the league's best, and he may not be a 27-point per game scorer anymore. That's okay. He might not even be 23.7 like he was last season. He can be 21 points a game on nearly 50, 40, 90, and that is just fine because let's be honest here, he may not be the player he once was, but he's still a guy who's going to be able to give you 20 points a game on high-level efficiency while impacting the game defensively. Is he the defender he once was? No. Is he still a very good defender? Absolutely. He showed flashes of that tonight in the game against the Hawks. I thought, really, all things considered, he played 14 minutes in the first half, which was more than I expected, said a lot. I felt like about how the Clippers viewed his health. And he looked sharp. I mean, he missed some bunnies. I feel like he missed a couple of offensive, he just finishes around the rim that I would generally expect him to hit. But it's rust. And you know what? He's going to develop and he's going to get back to himself offensively as time progresses. But you can't take away the impact that he clearly has on this team already. They clearly like each other. This team has a lot of chemistry, a lot of cohesiveness. They just feel more together than these Clippers teams from the past few years. And I feel honestly a lot better about the Clippers this season than I did the last few seasons, despite less name recognition star power. The depth and talent of this team seems to be really, really good. Defensively, they're awesome. And offensively, that's been the flaw this season. And adding Kawhi back is going to give you a highly efficient, serious threat offensively that's going to provide more space for everyone else to operate, less defensive attention for everyone else, and it's going to elevate the offense as a whole. But again, defensively, 4th best defensive rating in the league. Really, really high level stuff there. Offensive rating, though, has 23rd in the league so far this season, which has kept their net rating only at a 1, which is it's above average, right? Like that's 13th in the league, but it's not great. And honestly, the fact that they are 20-15 with all but one of those games coming without Kawhi is pretty impressive because now they get the guy back that's going to make their offense go from below average to above average and is going to make their defense go from elite to even more elite, because the minutes he's going to take realistically are going to be from wings, guys who may not be quite as crucial to the success of this team. And it just continues to give them more depth, more versatility, and more talent in terms of a lot of different things that they can do with their rotations. And I think the Clippers are all of a sudden a very, very scary threat in the Western Conference. A team that if things go right for them and they can stay healthy, will have a serious chance to make a deep run in the playoffs. And who knows? You never know what could happen. Maybe they could be the team that makes the finals this season. Do I expect that to happen? Probably not. Do I expect Kawhi to stay healthy? At this point, he hasn't given me a reason to believe that he will over the last couple of years. But I hope he does, because basketball's better when we got a healthy Kawhi Leonard, and it is exciting to have him back for however long it may last. 3 of 5 from the 3 tonight was nice to see as well. The shooting isn't going to go away. I can promise y'all that. Overall, really, really exciting Clippers team right now. And if you're a Clippers fan, man, it's exciting times. New arena, coach or owner who loves his team, coaching staff that's really, really doing great with Ty Lue and Jeff Van Gundy. Just a ton of positives in LA for the Clippers right now. Hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more NBA content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.